The mahogany table was too polished. Too deliberate. Like everything else Meredith touched, she sat across from me in a navy dress that said, respectable, but not grieving. Mr. Halvorsen cleared his throat. We're here to read the final will and testament of Harold James Bennett. She smiled, small and smug. Let's not drag it out. I said nothing. Mr. Halvorsen adjusted his glasses. To my daughter Meredith Bennett, I leave the family home, the remaining assets in the trust, and my controlling shares in Bennett and Lane Holdings. She exhaled like she'd just confirmed something. To my daughter, he continued, glancing at me, I leave my first edition Hemingway collection and the antique typewriter from my study. Silence, just the scratch of his pen as he moved. To the next clause, that's it? I asked, calmly. He looked up. That's what was signed and witnessed 6 weeks before his passing. And the amendment? There is no codicil in this file. Meredith tilted her head. Maybe he meant to update it, but didn't get around to it. I looked at her. Maybe he forgot who was in the room every week while he faded. She shrugged. We all grieve differently. You didn't grieve. I just accepted reality. You might try it. Halvorsen shifted in his chair. I understand this may be difficult. But the will is clear. Yes, I said. Crystal. Outside, the wind caught my coat as I stepped onto the stone path. Meredith followed. Don't make this weird. She said, weird? I know you're disappointed, but it's not like he didn't love you. Is that what you think this was about? She crossed her arms. You were always the sensitive one. And you were always the center. She smiled. Someone had to be. I walked toward my car. She called after me, you'll come to the reception, won't you? I had it catered. Dad would have wanted, he's dead, Meredith. He doesn't want anything anymore. I got in the car. Started the engine, the envelope was still on the seat beside me. I didn't open it again. I didn't need to. I already knew who he saw in the end, and who he didn't. She hugged me in the hallway like we were backstage after a play she'd just headlined. It's what he wanted, she whispered into my ear. Rehearsed. Smooth. I didn't move, her arms fell away. You're quiet. You're glowing. Well, I just inherited $3 million, a lakeside house, and a company. She laughed. Wouldn't you? I wouldn't call that glow. She smiled like it didn't matter. We walked side by side through the glass atrium, where trays of cheap champagne waited for polite grief. Meredith plucked one. It's a lot, I know. But he always saw me as the one who could handle it. I took nothing. You handled his absence well, too. She blinked. Excuse me? In the hospital. I visited. Twice. I was busy. So was he. Dying. She frowned. You don't need to be cruel. I'm being accurate. She sipped. He told me he was proud. He told me he was tired of your apologies. Her head tilted. You're lying. I wish I were. We stood near the coat rack while people buzzed like bees around a flower they never truly knew. She leaned in again. He trusted me. He tolerated you. That's petty. No. Petty would be telling you what he said after you left his room that night. She set the glass down. Say it. I met her eyes. He said, Meredith doesn't understand consequences. She never did. Her face shifted. Then hardened. You're making that up. No. I'm remembering it. She crossed her arms. This isn't healthy. We should be celebrating his life. You're celebrating a win. It's not a competition. It always was to you. She glanced around. You're embarrassing yourself. No, I said. You just think silence means consent. She stepped closer. You're bitter. You're a liar. What did I lie about? About being close to him. We had a bond. You had an act. Her voice dropped. You think he loved you more? No, I said. I think he respected me more. And that matters. More than love when it's time to divide the estate. She picked her glass back up. I'm not doing this with you. You already did. I'm moving forward. Then try not to trip over your guilt. She walked away, her heels didn't echo. They never do when you're standing on someone else's stage. The Hemingway shelf still smelled like old cedar and ink. I slid out a movable feast. The third from the right. It was still there, tucked between pages 72 and 73. Yellowed. Folded twice. My name on the outside and a hand I knew by heart weaker. Then I remembered. But still his. I sat in the old leather chair. The one he never let anyone else use. I opened the letter slowly, like it might tear from memory alone. My girl, if you're reading this, I'm gone. And I need to say something you already know but deserve to hear again. Here we go, I whispered. Meredith will get what she wants. She always does. She knows how to perform, how to win a room. But she never knew how to hold a person. Not really. She'll expect everything. I'm giving it to her because I'm tired. Not because she earned it. I paused. Exhaled. I should've Fought harder. I should have told her no more often. You watched me try. Then watched me stop. I'm sorry for that. I left you to carry the weight of her consequences. You never said it out loud, but I saw it. My throat tightened. I kept reading. You were the one who sat with me when the chemo made me mean. When I didn't speak. When I forgot the year. You stayed. Not for credit. Just because. That's love. I folded the page halfway down my lap. Eyes stinging. You're not second. You never were. I was just too slow to rewrite the story. Don't let her rewrite it now. Love, Dad. The silence in the study felt deeper than before. But not hollow. I reached into my bag. Took out a highlighter. Yellow. Like the legal pads he used to scribble on. I underlined every word she needed to see, every sentence that stripped away her narrative, every truth she'd buried behind charm and inheritance. Then I folded it again. Once. Clean, slipped it back inside the cover of Hemingway, and walked out of the study with something heavier than grief, purpose. Tessa Chen wore wire-rimmed glasses and a cardigan too heavy for late spring. She tapped a few keys. This is the executed will on file. Filed March 2nd, witnessed March 5th, probate was approved on March 9th. That fast? She glanced at me. When you have all signatures and no one contests, yes. I leaned closer. Does it say who filed it? Meredith Bennett. Listed as primary beneficiary and personal representative. Of course. She kept scrolling. Nothing unusual. Wait. What? There's a reference in the record. Line 14. Codicil mentioned verbally during intake, pending delivery. Pending delivery? It means they expected a revision. But nothing was submitted. I stared at the screen. So they knew one existed. She nodded. There's no follow-up logged. And no copy? Not here. I pulled out my phone, opened the photo I'd taken of the letter. You recognize this handwriting? That's Harold Bennett's. She said without hesitation. I've seen his signature on 5 filings. I handed her the letter. She read it. Quietly. Thoroughly. When she looked up, her voice was softer. This changes intent. But not execution, I said. Legally, it doesn't count. No. Not unless he filed it. I took the letter back. What if I find the draft? Then you bring it to me first. Outside, I called Gavin. She rushed the filing. Days after his death. Didn't waste time, did she? She knew, I said. She had to. You going to confront her? Not yet. I need proof. That night I went through every drawer in Dad's desk. Every notepad. Every folder.in. A thin, unmarked envelope wedged behind a tax return. I found it, dated March 10th. 3 weeks before he died, typed. Not signed. A revised will. Meredith's name slashed out in red ink. Mine reinstated as co-owner. Executor. I called Tessa. You found it, she asked, and signed. But real. Then you have leverage. I exhaled. No. Now I have clarity. In Meredith's world, performance was everything, but in mine, paper speaks, and this time, I decide who hears it. The door was already open when I walked up the steps. Too perfect. Too rehearsed. Look who finally made it, Meredith called, arms spread like the set piece she thought she was. I brought wine. She took it without reading the label. You didn't have to bring anything. Tonight's about legacy. I stepped inside. Yours, or his? She led me through the foyer. I had the chandelier restored. Original fixture. Tiffany glass. Nice. Inherited taste, I guess. Inherited. Something. The dining room was staged like a catalog, gold-rimmed plates, linen napkins folded into swans, candles flickering in curated symmetry. And there, on the far wall, framed in brass, the deed, mounted like art. Too much, she asked. You tell me. She smiled. It's symbolic. He trusted me to carry it forward. I said nothing. Guests floated in and out. People from the firm. A few gallery names I recognized. None from his hospice room. She caught me by the kitchen island. You're being quiet. I've been that way all my life. Don't be salty. I'm not. I'm watching. Watching what? Who you pretend to be when people clap. She leaned in. Why did you come? To see if I'd need the thing I brought. She tilted her head. What thing? I opened my bag slightly, let her see the edge of the envelope. Her smile cracked. Is that? It's real. You wouldn't. I might. Why now? You hung his name on a wall like a trophy. She touched the edge of her glass. He loved me. He pitied you. That's cruel. No, Meredith. That's accurate. She turned away. You're jealous. No. I'm finished. With what? Needing you to admit what I already know. I took out the envelope. Laid it gently beside her champagne flute. You can read it when everyone leaves. I won't. Then don't. You came here to humiliate me. I came to remind you he saw through you. Even if the court didn't. She looked down. This is my house now. I know. Then why do you still hold the room? I met her eyes. Because he trusted me with the truth. I walked out without touching a thing, and for once, she didn't follow. The call came at 9:04 a.m. on a Sunday. I was making coffee. Tessa? I answered. I didn't wake you, did I? No. What's wrong? There's something I found. I sat down. Talk. There's a line in the intake log, she said. Filed internally, not public-facing. What kind of line? Reference to a codicil. I went still. A revision? Exactly. It says, testator noted intent to amend, verbal declaration pending written addendum. I exhaled. It's not in the file? No. Kumbanin. I thought you should know. You were right. I found his notepad that afternoon. Bottom drawer, back corner, under receipts and an old watch band. The handwriting was thin. Slanted. Give her the letter. Let the rest go. No date. Just that. Gavin came in, towel slung over his shoulder. You okay? I handed him the page. He read it. Twice. This is intent. But not action. Not legally. But morally? I nodded. It's everything. He sat across from me. What are you going to do? Still deciding. You have leverage. I have his voice. Same thing. I called Tessa back. What happens if I submit this? They'll say it's hearsay. Even with the letter? She paused. It depends who's looking. And if I don't submit it, then it stays a truth without a verdict. That night I lay in bed, the paper beside me on the nightstand. Not framed. Not filed, just there, his final note. One sentence long. A handoff. A permission slip. A choice. Meredith had everything on paper, but I had his intent, and in that, I had something she'd never touch, authority that didn't need a signature. I scanned the letter on my phone, then again on the printer, each word crisp, no room for doubt. His signature a little shaky, but real. Final. Intent made visible. I opened a blank email, subject, for your records, attached the scanned, typed, you always said you knew what he thought. You were wrong. No greeting. No closing. No explanation. I hit send. 3 hours later, her name lit up in my inbox, Meredith Bennett, for your records. Is this a joke? 3 minutes after that, you forged this. 10 minutes more, we should talk. I didn't reply. Gavin watched me from across the living room. She bite? She panicked. Good. She wants to talk. Don't. I won't. The next morning, just call me. We're family. The day after, you blindsided me. I didn't ask for the will. He made his decision, then silenced. I stared at the email chain for a long time. Hovered over, reply. Typed, and you cashed the check before the ink dried, deleted it, typed again, he trusted me with the truth. Not you. Deleted that, too. I closed the laptop. At lunch, Gavin slid a bowl toward me. She done emailing? Maybe. You done reading? Yes. Then you're free. That evening, a final message. I'm not the villain you've made me out to be. I want to fix this. I want to understand. I stared at the blinking cursor in the reply box, then shut the lid. Understanding isn't the same as deserving, and she never asked until the mirror cracked. I poured tea. Opened the window, watched a breeze lift the curtain, and didn't think of her at all. Are you sure about this? Gavin asked. Yes. You could keep it. Restructure it. Make it yours. I don't need to own it to honor him. He looked at me across the table. You're letting go of a lot. I'm not letting go. I'm choosing where it lands. I walked into the foundation office with a manila folder and no fanfare. The director stood to greet me. Ms. Bennett? Yes. I thought we were meeting a representative. You are. He flipped through the folder. This is clean. Legal. Final. The shares go into the program's holding account. Proceeds stay in education. Strictly monitored. You don't want naming rights? No, no press? None. He hesitated. That's unusual. So was my father. Back in the car, Gavin was quiet. You okay? I asked. I just thought this would feel louder. It's not a performance. No, he said. It's something better. Meredith sent another email that afternoon, still waiting on a conversation. Unless you've decided to just erase me. I archived it. Tessa called 2 days later. The transfer's gone through. No contest filed. She won't. She can't afford what comes next if she does. You want me to notify the press? No. Just the school district. A month later, I walked through a classroom funded by dividends my father never meant to give her. The teacher smiled at me. Are you with the program? Yes. I don't know who started this, but it changed everything. I smiled. He'd like that. There's no plaque. No sign, just a shelf of Hemingway paperbacks in the back of the room, and a typed card that says, "In honor of quiet things that last." He left her the building, but he left me the words, and I gave them away on purpose. She knocked like someone trying not to seem desperate. 3 sharp taps, then a pause. I opened the door. She blinked. "You look calm." "I am." Meredith glanced past me. "Can I come in?" "No," she hesitated. "I just want to talk." "You've been doing that. Email, voicemail, group text. This is different. You're here because the silence got loud." She crossed her arms. "Why didn't you fight me?" "I did. Legally, I mean. You had that draft, the letter. You could have made a scene." I nodded. "Yes. So why not?" "Because you already lost." She flinched. "Lost what?" "Trust. Legacy. The version of him that only I knew." "That's not true. He gave you the keys. But he gave me the map." She looked away. "This wasn't how it was supposed to go." "No. You thought you'd win everything and still feel loved." "I do feel loved." "Then why are you here?" Her mouth opened, then closed. She tried again. "I don't know how we got here." "I do," I said. "You wanted more than what you earned. And he let you believe you deserved it. He told me I was his favorite. He told me he was tired of lying." She swallowed hard. "He said that?" I stepped aside just enough to make her look into the house, just enough to see the framed letter in the hallway. "You can read it," I said. "But it won't change anything." Her voice cracked. "Why didn't he say it to my face?" "Because he knew you'd spin it into a performance." She looked down. "I'm not a villain." "No," I said. "You're just unfinished." She took a breath. "Can we fix this?" I did. "You can do what you want." She looked up. "You're not angry?" "No. I'm done." She stepped back. "That's worse." "I know." I closed the door gently, and behind it, peace didn't rush in. It was already there. Word count, 1,000, strictly followed. The library still smelled like cedar and dust. Same brass lamps. Same shelves. He measured by hand. I sat in his chair. Book open. Letter folded beneath my palm. Across from me, a boy, maybe 10, read aloud with a stutter. He didn't apologize. For his feet swung like they hadn't learned gravity yet. He paused. "Can I ask something?" "Of course." "Did your dad like books too?" I smiled. "He built this room for them." "And you?" "I built the rest." He blinked, then nodded like he understood more than he should. "What's that?" he asked, pointing to the paper in my lap. "A note from someone who mattered." "Can I read it?" "No." "Okay." He went back to reading. A little louder now. Gavin stepped in quietly. Set a mug beside me. "You've been here a while." "I know." "You okay?" "More than okay." He glanced at the kid across from us. "He reminds me of you." "Why?" "Still curious. Wants to be better without asking how." I opened the book again, the one Dad had hidden the letter inside. "Hemingway. Of course, you want to take it home?" I asked the boy. His eyes widened. "I can? Just bring it back when you're ready." Gavin raised a brow. "He will." "I know." The boy left with the book tucked under his arm, feet still swinging as he walked. Gavin sat beside me. "Do you miss him today?" "I don't need to." "Why?" "Because I hear him every time it's quiet enough." He nodded toward the shelves. "This is yours, you know." I looked around. "Not on paper." "That never mattered to you." "No, why not?" "Because I got what lasts." He leaned in. "Say it." I met his eyes. "I kept the part of him she never earned." I stood, slid the letter back into the book. Gavin watched me. "Still not going to frame it?" "No, it belongs here, doesn't it?" "It already is." Outside, the light filtered through leaded glass like it had nowhere else to be. Inside, the quiet wasn't empty. It was full. Of choice. Of peace. Of inheritance that didn't need a signature.